The priceless gift. Today discuss about. Let's understand the text. What did the writer experience in the restaurant? Answer. The writer went to a vegetarian restaurant in the lunchtime. The restaurant was crowded. The writer chose the corner table and skimmed through the newspaper. What did he notice there? Answer. The writer noticed a very young girl looking at him. Her eyes were large and they had a sad expression. When she was going out, she asked the cashier in a low voice that whether the writer was an Indian. What was the writer's first impression of the girl? Answer. The writer noticed a young girl whose eyes were large and had sad expression, and when she inquired about him to the kisser, the writer became curious. Her eyes had said emotional made him think that the girl had some problem. What made the writer surprised? Answer. The girl was looking at the writer and wanted to know whether he was an Indian. When she inquired about him to the cashier and once again looked at the writer was surprised. What made the writer surprised? Answer. The girl was looking at the writer and wanted to know whether he was an Indian. When she inquired about him to the cashier and once again looked at the writer was surprised. Why did he inquire from the cashier? Answer. He noticed that the girl was interested to know about him, and when she asked the cashier about the writer, it made writer curious to know what it is was exactly. So he went to the cashier and inquired about the girl from him. What information did he get from the cashier? Answer. The cashier told the writer that the girl went to that restaurant on Saturdays. She went to the restaurant and paid only because she did not earn much. Where did the writer go on the next Saturday? Answer. The writer went to the same restaurant where he had noticed that girl. Why did he arrange the cashier opposite hers? Answer. The writer went to the same restaurant and saw the same girl sitting at the same table as before. He took the chair and arranged opposite in her because he wanted to have a conversation with her. What query did the girl make about the writer? Answer. The girl asked the writer whether he was an Indian. What impression did the writer have about the family of the girl? The writer came to know from the girl that her brother was a soldier and was serving in India. Her brother was the only guardian of her family. She lived with her widow mother. The writer understood that the both of them, especially her mother, wanted to know about him and was worried of him. How was the writer treated at Mediam's house? Who was there to welcome him? Answer. The writer went to Maggie's house with her. He was welcomed with eagerness and smile. He was treated with happiness and respect. Mrs. Betty, Maggie's mother, welcomed him. What was Mrs. Betty doing when the writer meet him? Why was she unwilling to go for a handshake? Answer. Mrs. Betty was making cakes when the writer met her. Answer. Lechinio. Question number 13. Why did he girl usually visit the restaurant on Saturday? Answer. The girl did not earn much. She visited the restaurant on Saturday because it was her payday. 40 number questions. What did Mrs. Betty believe about the ring? Answer. Mrs. Betty had believed that the ring was special and magical. She believed that once can know about a distant person when one gazes into it and concentrate on it. 50 number questions. What made the author to tell Ellie about the ring? Answer. Maggie instead the author to look into the ring and tell her mother that Frankie was alive and will. The author through Lechinio. 60 number questions. Did the telling of Lee benefit Mrs. Betty? Answer. Yes. Telling of Lee did benefit Mrs. Betty when the author looked into the ring and told Mrs. Betty that Frankie was alive and well. She reached her a little off the pillow. The news made her happy and some she was recovered. 70 number questions. Why did the writer feel quality about himself? Answer. When the writer calculated and realized that Frankie had been killed before someday, when he had lied about his well-being to his mother, the realization of his lie made him feel quality. 80 number questions. What was Maggie's gift to the writer? Answer. When the writer told Maggie that he was going to India, he also told her that he would visit her brother's grave and write to her. Then Maggie thanked him and gave him a shilling which she had earned it with much toil. She wanted the author to buy flowers from a shilling and lay on her brother's grave a shilling earned from her heart. लेकिन सब 19 number question देखो. Why was it a priceless gift? Answer देखो. The girl's economic condition was not so good and she earned every penny with much toil. A shilling that she earned with much toil represents her greatest gift for her brother. It shows her unconditional love for him. 20 number the questions. Did Maggie love her brother? Daily give reason. Answer. Maggie loved her brother Frankie with all her heart. Her love for him was unconditional. She had to take much efforts to earn single penny and she kept a shilling for buying flowers for her brothers. Grab this act लेकिन सब एडिट टिके होइनी. Let's understand the text better. First देखो, why did the writer choose the corner table in the restaurant? Here answer देखो, the writer went to a vegetarian restaurant. The restaurant was crowded and some of the chairs and tables were pushed into a corner, so the writer chose the corner table and skimmed through the newspaper. Second number देखो, how did the writer start a conversation with the young girl? Answer, the writer went to the same restaurant and saw the same young girl sit on the same chair. He sat opposite to her and wished her good afternoon. In this way, he started a conversation with the young girl. Third देखो, how could the writer guess the girl to be poverty stricken? Answer देखो, when the writer noticed the girl for the first time, he saw that her eyes were sad. Then he got to know from the cashier that she visited the restaurant only on Saturdays, which were her pay days. From the above details, the writer guessed that the girl was stricken by poverty. 4 number देखो, questions. Which of the following do you think the author will take about after meeting the girl? Answer देखो, A number देखो, meeting the girl again. B, inquiring about her nature of work. C देखो, about her family. D number देखो, all the above. देखो आंसर देखो ऑप्शन C, about her family. 5 number देखो, I was moved by what he said. What impression did the writer get author girl? Answer, when the cashier told the writer that the girl visited only her pay days, Saturdays, the writer was shocked. He felt sad for that young girl who worked so hard and earned. 6 number देखो, what impression did the girl have on India? Answer, the girl had decent knowledge about India. The girl and her mother wanted to know about India more from the writer. They both saw that there were many snakes and tigers in India and such animals killed people. They also believed that the ring that Frankie had sent from them from India was magical and could tell about the distant person when gazed at it. Maggie read in books that India. देखिना सबू 7 number देखो, will it be too much of a lie? Why did the girl say so? Answer देखो, the girl mother was ill and this made the girl worried. She requested the writer to look into the ring and tell her mother that his son was alive and well. She told him to make her mother feel fine, and it was just a white lie. She thought that such white lie won to be too much to. लेकिन सब प्ले 8 number देखो, why did the writer feel ashamed to face Mrs. Bethy at the time of his return to India? Answer देखो, the writer went to meet Mrs. Bethy and Maggie before leaving to India. He then came to know that both of them were in mourning and Frankie had been killed on the front. He then calculated and found that Frankie had died before some days. He told Mrs. Bethy that he was alive and well. This made him greatly. His lie made felt ashamed to face Mrs. Bethy at the time of his departure. 9 number देखो, why was the shilling Maggie presented to the writer was a invaluable offering? Answer: Maggie did not earn much whatever she earned. It was after much toil, and she gave a shilling to the writer to buy flowers to keep on her brother grave. A shilling holds much value in her life, and that she offered to the writer a shilling was more than a penny. It was the greatest gift. It was symbol of love and sacrifice. Let's learn some words. Example 1. There is an text of anger on his face. देखो फर्स्ट देखो सेकंड 3 नंबर देखो फर्स्ट आंसर टिके लिखी नहीं. He made his departure from the scan after a dialogues. 3 नंबर देखो she performed well at her first opportunity. 4 नंबर देखो she showed a curiosity for my past life. 5 नंबर देखो I had a conversation with my friends. 6 नंबर देखो you need a lot of text on the subject to understand it perfectly. And answer देखो consideration. Next, B. Look at the following dialogues carefully and write them in the correct sequence as they occur in the story. Correct sequence. 7. Are you an Indian? My brother is in India. 6 number देखो may I know your name? 4 number देखो excuse me, my hands are covered with flour. 8 number देखो what kind of country is India, sir? 5 number देखो my son is in the Punjab, he is a soldier. 9 number देखो so Mr. Gupta, the ring which your brother sent you. 10 number देखो Mrs. Bethy, your son is alive, he is well. 2 number देखो are you leaving today, she asked. 3 number देखो when I go to that part of the country I shall visit your brother's grave and write to you. How can I ever thank you, sir? She said. C. Study the following collection of words. 1 is objective and the author is noun. Examples. Fill in the gaps. Choosing the appropriate adjective one has been done for you. I hope that some miracles change will occur. Second देखो the children have virtuous aptitude. Third देखो there was some next news for the child. Your answer was said. I number देखो she suffered from a serious illness. B number देखो he led a healthy life all the time. B number देखो he started with a brief description of the subject. B double देखो he attends every weekly meeting. B third देखो Ramesh. D. Compounds objectives are beautifully formed with the adding of noun with participle. One of such compound objectives is used to the text. Moth, heart, bed, hand, ridden, made, broken, eaten. So this answer moth eaten, heart broken, bed ridden, handmade. Thank you, all my friends.